let's have a serious conversation about the Boston Celtics. So the trade deadline is coming up, and one team that a lot of people don't talk about, as far as in the trade deadline pool, but needs to be hella aggressive in the trade deadline, is the Boston Celtics. What the? Yo, I don't know how many. What's wrong with the Boston Celtics, man? I've seen multiple times where Boston has been up more than 20 points or more than 15 points, and the team roars back and loses. I mean, the team comes back and beats the Celtics. They say it's a leadership thing, which it could be. I mean, if you look at their roster, who's the leader of this team? Marcus Smart, which, now say this every single time I see his name, every single time somebody says his name, I do not, for the life of me, understand why Marcus Smart has the green light from shooting three. I don't understand it. I will never understand it. It's not for me to understand, I guess, but why in God's name does Marcus Smart have the green light in shooting threes when he knows, and I know he can't shoot. He can't shoot. But I mean, this team, okay, so you have a team that's built around two guards or forwards, which is Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, both phenomenal players. Jaylen Brown is averaging 24 points a game. Jason Tatum is averaging 26 points a game. But outside of that, you have Enes Kanter Freedom. You have Al Horford, who's come back. Jabari Parker, Peyton Pritchard, Dennis Schroeder, Josh Richardson, Grant. Like, this team is not that good. This team could be. It's like you have a lot of players that you don't really have any all around players. I think, and when I say all around, you don't really have to me, this roster just doesn't click to me. Like Jaylen Brown, and Jaylen Brown's great, and we've said this before, we don't know if you can play a team, you can have a team that has Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum as your stars, because they both played pretty much the same position, the same exact way. And you don't have this team is not built around them. Like, you don't have Al Horford, Dennis Schroeder. This team's not really built around them. So this team is not built well. This team has two players that play the exact same way and aren't really good without the ball. Like, Jason Tatum's not good with the ball. Without the ball. Neither is Jaylen Brown. They both do not have a sense of urgency on the defensive side of the ball. They both really don't. I'm not gonna say they don't care about defense, but they don't really take a caring to defense on that side of the ball. On the defense side of the ball. Like Jabari Parker, he's famous for saying, you pay me to get buckets, not to play defense. Like, their best defender on this team is Marcus Smart. Outside of that, Robert Williams, he's straight, but he's an undersized big. So is Bruno Fernando and Al Horford. Al Horford's 6'9". And God, you got Enes Kanter. Enes Kanter's their tallest player. Yeah, this team's not good, man. And I think it's unfortunate because, you have a black coach, and when you have a team that's that has Jason Tatum, who's incredible, I know he's still early in his career, but he's an incredible player. He's averaging 26, 9, and 4. And Jaylen Brown is averaging 24, 6, and 3. But they both pretty much play the same position, play the same exact way. They both flourish on getting buckets. And when one person's getting buckets, it's like, you know how on the Bulls, right? When you hear the highest scoring backcourt and stuff, like when you've had multiple games where Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan have gone off at the same time. We've had before the injury. We've had multiple games when Steph Curry and Klay Thompson have both gone off. We've had multiple games where KD or James Harden's gone off, or KD and Klay. Or Kyrie or James Harden's both gone off. We've had games where LeBron James and Anthony Davis have gone off. You haven't really had too many games where both Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have both went off. We maybe have one or two, but we don't have too many like that. Now, a lot of people say when you trade a player, it's like a negative connotation. Like, oh, you traded him. Ugh, he's garbage. No, sometimes they just don't fit and would fit better somewhere else. And I think I wouldn't trade Jason Tatum, but I think that they definitely need to make some moves because the iteration that this team is in now is not going to work. As far as moving forward, I don't see them. I mean, they could win a playoff series, like if they went against the Knicks or something, even though the Knicks came back from 20-something down and RJ Barrett hit the game winner. But I don't see them. Maybe Atlanta. They can beat Atlanta, but I don't see them making no noise as far as the top teams.